Hi, thank you so much for clicking on this video. This is a quick little winter get ready with me with an easy, smoky, cool toned eye using some of my favorite makeup products. And I've been feeling very lifeless and dull as of late. So I want to use a glowy primer, like an illuminating base, to bring some life back. So the first product I'll use is the Saie Beauty Super Glowy Gel in the shade Starglow. This is essentially an illuminating primer. And the one thing that I really like about this formula is that even though it's supposed to be glowy, it doesn't have any obvious like shimmer particles, any obvious chunks of glitter. I really hate it when primers that are supposed to be glowy are chunky and glittery across the skin. I'm using the BK Beauty 101 brush to blend this out. This is supposed to be great for foundations. It's really big. This looks like a good start. I can see the glow on my face, so I'm very happy about that. Then the next product I'm using is the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint. I used to have this formula like a long time ago, back when I wasn't very well versed with what I like and enjoy in makeup. So I don't really remember much about the skin tint apart from the fact that it's very sheer, like it has barely any coverage, and the type of person that I am, I really do prefer that in foundations. So I have this sample card with 6 shades. If I can recall correctly, I'm shade G10. I anyway use a very small amount of foundation, so I think this should be enough. So this is how much product you get in the sample card. I've picked up some product on this BK Beauty brush, and here we go. Okay, this is a good shade match. So it is very sheer. This is something that I do remember correctly. There's barely any coverage, which is fine. That's really the type of makeup that I enjoy. Just something to perfect the skin rather than concealer. This brush is lovely. It's very big, so I can get a lot of product to spread very quickly. I really like the base right now. So that's the base. So I'll quickly do my concealer and brows and be right back. Right, so I'm back. I'm done with concealer, brows, everything, and now it's time for the eyes. And I have been enjoying this next product so much. This is from Mob Beauty. This is the Mob Beauty eyeshadow in the shade M44. So I think this is a creamy shimmer. It's a cream shadow which is slightly shimmery, so you don't have any big chunks of glitter or any scattered glitter particles, and it looks quite cool toned in the pan, but for my skin tone this turns out to be the most amazing neutral shade. It's one of the most beautiful unique shades that I've ever tried. So for the best blend, I like to take some product on my finger, not a lot, and apply it right here in the center. Then I take a brush and blend this out. See just how quickly this blends out into the most gorgeous shade. Gone ahead and blended it on both eyes, and honestly this is such a beautiful formula. It's very underrated. In my humble opinion, it needs to be discussed a lot more. Just look at that shade. It makes the perfect smoky wintry eye. I'm not done with the eyes just yet. I do like to use another product right on top in the center, which brings even more life to this look, and this is from Hourglass. It's the Hourglass Scattered Lights formula in the shade Smoke. It's so sparkly and rich, and when it's on the eye as a topper, it looks so pristine. And I'm just taking some and applying it right here in the center. And there you go. It's such a stunning everyday eye combo. I'm telling you, if you like neutral shades, neutral tones, but you want something a little more sophisticated, this is a very interesting combination. So we're almost done with the eyes, but I do want to give it like a little more depth because I am going for a wintry smoky look. And what better than to use the Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal liner. I have this in the shade black. First of all, the packaging is just impeccable and it's dual ended. So one end is the liner itself that I've freshly sharpened, and the other end is a blending brush that you can use to smudge out the kajal. It's so smooth, it just glides across my eye and responds. I'm using the sponge to just soften the line. Next up is mascara, and I'm going with this one from Essence. The original Essence Lash Princess formula has to be one of my all-time favorites. But if you want more drama and more intensity, I would say go for this formula. This one, it's jet black, very pigmented and dramatic. If I'm not careful with this formula, it can become slightly clumpy, slightly. So that's one coat on both eyes. There you go, that's two coats of mascara on both eyes. This formula is definitely very dramatic, jet black, and I really like that. It holds up really well throughout the day. It doesn't flake easily, even though it's so pigmented and dramatic, but if I'm not careful with it, it can be slightly clumpy. This was the Essence Lash Princess Curl Mascara. It's giving me that lovely false lash effect. I've really enjoyed it, and yes, it's a good formula to have on hand, and for the price point, it's amazing. At this point, my face is in serious need of some warmth, and I chose the Victoria Beckham Matte Bronzing Brick in the shade 02. This is a matte formula, and for some reason, I never end up getting this bronzer. Maybe it was the high price point, but I finally have it, and it's truly impeccable from the packaging to the formula. It's genuinely a flawless product. It's so lightweight, creamy, buttery, and smooth, very easy to blend out. And I've had the best time using this bronzer. It's been very difficult for me to put it down. It works very well with both cream and liquid products, and it's just a top notch makeup product. Now it's time to move on to the blush category, and I have a very exciting product to discuss, and this is from M Cosmetics. This is their serum blush formula in the shade Rose Pink. The packaging is adorable, although the little pipette just doesn't function properly for me. The formula is very runny, as the name suggests, it's almost like skincare. The shade is perfect for every day, it's not too warm or too cool. It has a beautiful glass-like sheen and it's not patchy at all. As far as the formula goes, it's very forgiving. It has the perfect amount of pigment, so it doesn't blend out into nothing, but it's not so pigmented that I end up looking like a clown. I can exercise a lot of control with this formula, and it doesn't cling to my skin. It's not very oily or heavy, and I wanted to use this shade to provide that fresh wintry pinky tone. Not done with blush yet. I have one more formula to use. I've used this blush a lot in the past 2 years, and the flower embossing is still intact. It's a gel based formula and it's very pigmented. The saturation is intense, as you can see here. I chose a brush which doesn't have tightly packed bristles. I take some product and then tap off the excess on the back of my hand, then apply the product on my face. And sometimes, if the pigment gets a little too intense, I use a beauty sponge to soak up some of that extra blush. Even though we're in the middle of winter, my face produces a lot of oil throughout the day and I just end up looking very messy and greasy. So I'm going with the Kosas Cloud Set powder in the shade Candy Pink to set my face. And since it's a pressed powder, I'm using a powder puff. This is perhaps the best powder formula that I've ever used. It's so lightweight and absolutely weightless. I've applied it under my eyes and it instantly brightens my face. Despite the fact that I have very dry skin, this formula is so forgiving. It's like applying a filter, it airbrushes my skin. Moving on to lip products, I'm using the Rimmel Lasting Finish Lip Liner in the shade Cappuccino. I've been using this non-stop recently. This is a cool toned, beautiful 90s classic shade. And I apply it all over the perimeter and I even fill my lips. It's such a wearable, cool toned shade. It doesn't make me look ashy or dead and it just looks so good even on its own, but I will combine it with another lip product. I'm combining the lip liner with the Violette FR Bisou Balm in the shade Amour Fou. I've had this formula for years. I always neglected it, but then it went viral online and I thought, okay, now's the time to pick it up and, just revisit it. And combined with this lip liner, it just brings the whole look to life. It's a sheer matte formula, very weightless. It's not balmy like the name suggests, but it's very comfortable and it's amazing and it smells really nice. But anyway, that was the whole look. I hope you enjoyed this video. I would be very grateful if you'd consider subscribing to my channel and liking this video. And yes, as always, I'll see you very soon in the next one.